Future Vision, BlindShell mobile phone and 6-dot Braille label maker. Demonstrated by Mo and Omar Iqbal of Taira Technology on the 27th of January 2022. About Future Vision. Future Vision is a series of events aimed at helping people make the most of life with sight loss. Future Vision is a collaborative project between 7 local independent sight societies, which include Sight Advice South Lakes in Cumbria, My Sight Notts in Nottingham, Sight Airedale in the Airedale area of North and West Yorkshire, Support for Sight in Mid and West Essex, Sight Concern Worcestershire in Worcestershire, Sutton Vision in the London Borough of Sutton, and Outlookers in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire.
Thank you everybody for coming. This is the Future Vision meeting we hold every month, but at the moment every fortnight, and we'd like to get some experts from the world of assistive technology. And the Rainbow Collaboration, as people know, is 7 sight loss organisations, national award winning. I think we might have mentioned that. And so we have Mo and Omar from Taira Technology. So over to you.
Fantastic. So yeah, thank you for the introduction there. My name is Omar Iqbal, and with me here off to the side is my brother Mo Iqbal. You should be able to see us on Zoom here through the camera. And we're from a company called Taira Technology Limited. And Taira Technology, we provide products, services, advice and training to blind and visually impaired people, both here in the UK and internationally as well. We've got a few people abroad that we help. And before we explain our products and services in detail, I just want to explain a bit about our background really and why we got started. So we're a family-run business, and the journey started when my brother Mo lost his sight shortly after he was born. And growing up, I saw how difficult it was for him as a completely blind person to use technology. I'm fully sighted, by the way. And so whenever he needed help or had problems with his equipment, as often these things go wrong, we both worked together to resolve these problems that we faced. And it slowly grew. We ended up helping a lot of people that Mo knew on email lists and through our local societies. And as word spread and demand increased for us helping people, really, this then led me to doing my degree at uni to do computer science so that I can gain more knowledge. And it was there that my mum really encouraged us to turn what we were doing, helping people, into a more official thing by turning it into a business. And so we set up the business, and the company's named after her. So her name's Taira. And without her help and expertise and support, the business wouldn't exist really. So we named it after her. So that's what we do. So let's talk a bit about what we offer then. So the first, Mo's going to also be doing a demonstration to the side. I don't know if I mentioned that. There's a demonstration camera where we'll show the products and services in detail. But I'll talk very briefly about the stuff we can't demonstrate. So the first thing is we offer Goodman's and TVOnics television box sales, repairs and upgrades. And basically what that means is, for those of you who don't know, TVOnics used to sell a set-top box, Freeview set-top box, a bit like a Skybox that you can plug into the back of a television or a pair of speakers. And it's a fully speech-enabled device. And so you can access audio-described programs. Unfortunately, that company went into liquidation a few years ago. And so what we've done recently over the past couple of years is taken over sort of maintenance of that. So if you've got a TVOnics box or you're looking to purchase one, a refurbished unit, then feel free to get in touch with us and we can most likely repair those devices, both the Goodman's and the TVOnics boxes as well. There was a Goodman's Smart set-top box as well. The other thing that we can help with is general product sourcing. So if you're looking for advice or something needs repairing or you need something upgrading, that's what we really sort of specialize in. That's what we've done since the beginning, really. So things like Braille displays, embossers, mobile phones. If you're looking to purchase any of these devices and need advice, we know what's available. Or if you've got a device that's from the 90s, I'm sure there was a Braille embosser that we got working with Windows 10, which was really satisfying. So if there's older equipment that you need reviving or repairing, just let us know. The other thing that we offer is training and support remotely via phone or in person. And what that basically means is you've got software training. So if you want to learn how to use a screen reader such as NVDA or JAWS, or you want to learn how to use Windows or Office, such as Word and Excel and things like that, we can help with that. In addition to iOS and Android, so if you've got these smart devices now, we can also help you use that as a visually impaired or totally blind person. We can also offer hardware training. So in other words, we can train you how to use your Braille displays or embossers, mobile phones, tablets, computers, that kind of thing. So if there's a device you want to learn how to use specifically, then we can help you with that. Oh, it's worth mentioning that we can help. We offer training both on a pay-as-you-go basis, or you can subscribe to our monthly packages. Those tend to be a bit more economical, and you get a certain amount of hours of support per month, and you get access to other things as well. We run monthly events, a bit like this one, but for our monthly subscribers only. And we also demonstrate different products. We also cover things like how to use Amazon, different iPhone apps, Windows apps, new devices on the market, etc. So if you're a monthly subscriber, you get all those perks as well. We also offer Braille transcription, so both in UEB and the older Braille standard as well. So we cover it all, and we work with a number of different organisations and individuals as well, theatres, charities, legal firms. We also got contacted by Parliament recently, which is really good for them. So we help a variety of different people with the Braille transcription needs. So if you need anything producing in Braille, let us know. The other thing that we offer are laptops and desktops. So as you know, or as you may know, there are devices that you can buy now, computers and laptops that come in so many different shapes and sizes. You've got laptops that are pocket size, which is what Mo's using to read the notes on, all the way up to 17-inch laptops, which is the device that I'm using now. You also have desktops, which you can put in the palm of your hand, all the way to these big desktop blocks that you can put next to your desk and things like that. Those are desktop towers. You also have all-in-one computers. So if you just want a screen with everything built in and you plug a keyboard into it as well, we also supply those. So prices usually start from as little as £300 for a fully configured and talking laptop or computer. And SSDs come as standard. So SSDs are the things that make the computer run faster. And we make sure that all of those come as standard with all of our devices. And many people ask us, well, what makes you stand out as opposed to going to PC World or Currys or other high street retailers? So the first thing that we offer is a bespoke service. So it's not like buying off the high street where you have to set everything up yourself. All the computers are fully set up for use before dispatch with your preferred programs, before preferred settings. We take off a lot of the junk that's on these devices as well, like programs and subscriptions and things. We take all of that off. And so it's fully customized for accessibility, and all the options are turned off that are unnecessary. So we tend to go the extra mile for that. We also can label keys with bump-ons. We also provide a custom getting started guide on arrival specifically for your machine. So you know where the USB ports are, where the mouse pad is, what the different buttons on the keyboard are. So all of that written specifically for your machine. And on top of that as well, we also offer training on arrival. So every product we sell comes with training, whether it's the BlindShell or a computer. And with the laptops, depending on what you need, we offer between 3 to 8 hours per product or per device, depending on what you need. So we can talk through that. Now, what I'm going to do is hand over to Mo. So I'm just going to mute myself for a few minutes while we get that sorted out. So transfer to his camera. And he'll be demonstrating the different devices that we have. So I'll switch over to our demonstration cam, and the next voice you'll hear is Mo. So just bear with me a second. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mo. I'm Omar's brother, and I'm on the demonstration camera today, demonstrating the various products that we offer. So to give you an introduction to one of the products, the first product we're going to show on camera is a product called a 6-dot label maker. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a Braille label maker which is powered by batteries or mains power. And what sets this apart is the Braille is produced by an electronic embossing head. So it's not a conventional Dymo gun style device. So it prints on 9mm tape. And the device is about roughly about 5 by 3.5 inches in size. It's oval in shape. And it actually has a Perkins keyboard on top. So you might be able to see, are the keys yellow?
Yeah,
The green keys on top here that you can see. So it's a standard Perkins keyboard with a space bar. And you have keys to eject and advance the tape and a round cutting key in the middle. And what really sets this apart, as I said before, is that many of our customers have motor impairments. So they can't actually use the dymo gun. They can't squeeze the dymo gun. And because they can't use their hands to their full potential, this device is very easy to type on. The exact dimensions are actually 8 inches wide by 5 inches by roughly about 2.86 inches high. So it's got a cutting button in the middle, as I said before. The buttons are very easy to press. And the Braille is very strong and pronounced. So because it's an electronic label maker, when you produce Braille labels, it's very, very easy to feel. A lot of people have complained in the past that the dymo tape from used with dymo guns isn't very sticky, and the Braille isn't as pronounced as it could be. It's mains and battery powered, and we supply ours with 10 rolls of tape as standard. So I'll just demonstrate this for you briefly on camera. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to type the word test. So you type all the words in Braille. So the good thing about this is that you're not restricted by language either. So, you know, if as long as you know the Braille language that you want to type in, you can just use the keyboard to type whatever labels you like. So let's type in test, and it's just going to start passing now. You might be able to hear that in the background. And it's going to do the E now, and ST. And let's press the cut button now. And that's cut the tape. And we'll show the tape on camera now. So the dots are very pronounced. They're very legible and easy to feel. And this has been very, very popular with our customers. You can also order rolls of tape separately as well. The price for these is £575, and that includes 10 rolls of tape, and it also includes a 2-year guarantee as well. So let's move on to the various mobile phones that we can source for people. And we'll start off by talking a bit about Android phones and iPhones. So as an organization, we are impartial. We don't recommend one product over another. Our goal is to find a product which is best for you. So we can source, you know, if we can need a phone, we can help you to find a phone for your budget. We sell accessories to make using smartphones easier. So one of the products that we sell is called a speed dots cover for the iPhone. And just to describe it for those people that have no sight, if you imagine a sticky back piece of plastic, it's a very thin piece of plastic that you stick on the screen of your iPhone, and it actually has markings on various areas of the screen. It's dots. You don't need to know Braille to use it, but it has dots on various areas of the screen. So for example, I'm just going to focus on the bottom part of the phone. So the bottom part of the phone here has, you know, dots where it marks the spacebar area of the phone. Above that, we have the keyboard, the QWERTY keyboard. So every dot on the QWERTY keyboard is marked with a dot apart from the F and J. So you can use that to sort of orient yourself. Above that, directly above the keyboard, we have 3 dots, which are generally used for predictive text. And also the middle dot here is used for the 0 on the keypad when it's displayed. And in the middle here, we've got a dot for the number 5 here. So although the area in between is blank, you can actually move your finger around very easily. So you find number 5, to the right is number 6, to the left is number 4, above that is number 2. So even though it's blank, you can very easily find your way around, really, as long as you've got that level of orientation. The top left-hand dot here, for example, is back, and the top right-hand dots, the 3 dots in the top right would be OK. And in some apps, that's actually the done button. So when people apply these to the iPhones, they find the iPhones very, very easy to use, because the iPhone just feels smooth to the touch. It doesn't, you know, there's nothing to define what's on the touch screen. A lot of people spend their time feeling around the screen, you know, wondering where they are, sliding the finger around, and you can constantly hear the iPhone beeping while they're trying to find certain elements. This speed dots cover really speeds up the you know, the whole process, really. I wouldn't use my iPhone without mine now, honestly. It was really helpful when I first bought my iPhone. They cost £19.99 each, and that is supplied with a getting started guide in your preferred format. So we can provide guides in print, audio, braille, or via email. They also do a version for the iPad, so the larger screen devices aren't left out in the cold. And in terms of Android phones that we can supply, again, we will work with you to try and find out which phone or which device is actually best for you, whether it's a computer, a laptop, a braille display, a reading machine, daily living aids, whatever the device is, will actually work with you. So in terms of Android phones, in the past, we've actually managed to customize them for our partially sighted customers, as well as our visually impaired customers with their preferred apps. Before dispatch, we've set the emails up for them. We've actually customized it with a large, easy to see launcher for those partially sighted people that want to use it without speech. And because of the level of detail that we go into, because after sales is extremely important for us as a company. Because growing up, back then there wasn't a lot of technology help available as there is now. Nowadays, you've got plenty of resources on YouTube, online. But even then, we have a lot of customers who aren't actually online, who need that extra, help. And that's why after sales, we place so much emphasis on it. Every product that we sell comes with a certain number of free hours of support on arrival. So for example, if people buy a mobile phone from us, the time can range anywhere from an hour to a good few hours, free of charge. And then after that, you would pay our usual rates. So what we're going to discuss next is a phone called the BlindShell Classic 2. Now, this phone has recently been released. It's made by a company called BlindShell in the Czech Republic. And it's a fantastic smartphone for those people who want to use a phone without a touchscreen. So they still want access to modern apps, but they don't want the touchscreen to be in the mix. And the BlindShell phone really is a fantastic button phone. I'll describe it as we're going along. So the phone measures 13 centimeters long by 5.5 centimeters wide by 1.6 centimeters in depth. So it's not an overly large phone. It's not a brick by any means. It's quite nice and elegant. It's a fully talking phone with a built-in screen reader. All functions are read out using the Google text-to-speech voice, so it's very clear. You've got a choice of about 11 voices, I think. I can't remember. So, yeah. It's a good amount, really. And in terms of core functions, the phone, I'll go through the functions first, then we'll demonstrate the phone menus to you and things like that. We'll show the phone briefly working. So in terms of core functions, you've got a call function for making and receiving phone calls, text messages app for making and receiving sending and receiving messages, contacts for storing contacts, alarm clock, and you can set single and multiple alarms, and you've got a minute timer and stopwatch, calendar to track your daily events, notes, which you can write text notes and voice notes to yourself on this, record voice notes to yourself on the phone as well. An accessible calculator, which works very well. Speed dial, so you can actually dial up to 10 contacts by just holding the digit of the person you want to ring. An SOS button, which is located on the back of the phone. We'll flip the phone over so you can see it. So
settings, 5 of 7.
Sorry, the phone button just got pressed there. We'll flip it over so you can see the SOS button there. And it's got a camera and SOS button on the back. So the SOS button basically is like a speed dial button. So for those people that can't actually, just need to call somebody in an emergency, for example, it's got an indent on the button itself so that you can actually, find the button very quickly and press and hold it and it will call the person. The more advanced functions that the phone offers include things like sending and receiving emails, web browser to surf the internet, voice recorder, which we mentioned earlier, to record notes, a weather app, so it will tell you the weather as long as it can find out the location you're in. You can search by city or postcode. It's also got a color detector and a book reader for reading textbooks and audiobooks. It'll play MP3 files and DAISY books. And it's got a document reader as well, which will read text files. And it's got an FM radio and also an online radio app as well. So you can actually access online stations from around the world or local FM stations. It's got a torch on it, so you can actually turn it into a flashlight in case you need to, in case you're in the dark and you need something to guide you with. You can dictate text as well. So you can control the phone with your voice to an extent. So you can dictate text messages and emails to the phone. It's got a unit converter to convert different currencies and different units of measurement. It's got games on there as well. So they've got a various collection of games really, such as Dice Roller, Hangman, and memory games, like Simon says. And the big thing that sets this phone apart from previous smartphones that we've seen that are easy to use is the fact that it's got support for third-party apps. So the previous BlindShell didn't support many third-party apps, but this one does. So, for example, you've got access to YouTube, Telegram Messenger, WhatsApp for making and receiving WhatsApp calls and sending messages to people who've got WhatsApp, Amazon Shopping, Be My Eyes. So for those of you who don't know, Be My Eyes is an app that allows you to obtain sighted assistance using your phone's camera. So you can just call somebody, a volunteer from across the world, and they will, you point your camera at the item that you want help with, like a tin of food, or, what color is this shirt, for example. And the volunteer can tell you, they can say, right, well, that shirt is blue. I think you'd look better in whatever color you want to, wear. Facebook Messenger. Now, the key distinction here is it doesn't support the full Facebook. It supports the Facebook Messenger component. So that's the area of Facebook where you can send and receive messages to your contacts, but you can't access the full Facebook interface, not via the app anyway. So you could probably do it via the web browser, but that's a bit long-winded, really. Google Lookout is a very useful app on these handsets. People have been using it for all kinds of things. For example, when you open the app, you can recognize colors, what color something is. It will read out text to you, so it can read out your mail to you. It can describe objects, or try to. It can recognize food packets, currency, for example, as well. And they're adding more features to that all the time as well. It's got Shazam music recognition. I've not actually tried that myself, but apparently it can recognize and tell you what songs are playing in the background. It's got Skype on here as well. So for those people who don't use WhatsApp, it actually has Skype Lite, which allows you to make and receive Skype calls and send and receive messages using Skype. And more apps are actually being added all the time to the BlindShell. So, if you would like support for apps, you can also email them as well. So I'm going to show it in a second, but before I do that, I'm going to just describe the features that set this phone apart from the previous generation BlindShell, and then we'll go on to a bit of a demonstration. So for those people that had the Classic 1, the earpiece is much louder on this device. So they've really improved the audio quality. It's the kind of thing now where if I'm sitting across the room from it, I can actually hear the audio very, very clearly. It's really loud, and that applies to the main speaker as well. So they've put the speaker on the front now. The keys are much more tactile, so you've got a really pronounced dot on the number 5 now, and it also has
Volume
markings.
7.
It also has markings on the various buttons. So, for example, the back button, which is here just above number 3, has a diagonal marking on it. That's for distinguishing that button against all the rest. The up and down arrows have a horizontal marking on them. The left-hand call button has a big round circle on it, whereas the button above it for notifications has a small round circle on it. And the buttons themselves are spaced apart now, much more spaced apart than they were on the previous BlindShell. And they've also put a dedicated volume button on the left-hand side. And they also have noise-cancelling microphones on this phone as well, because a lot of people used to criticize the fact that it used to pick up a lot of background noise on the old one. The camera is much higher quality, so it's 13 megapixel on this phone, and the buttons no longer stick. It's got a much higher build quality, and they also have support for hearing aids, T3 compatible, I believe. They also have support for the latest wireless standards, so wireless AC support and NFC support as well. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to demonstrate the phone briefly so you can hear what it sounds like. And we'll go through a few of the menus to show you around. And then we'll mention the pricing and our contact details at the end. And then we'll hand over to Tim and the team for the Q&A. So what I'm going to do is just press the back button on the phone to make sure we're on the main screen.
10:30 a.m.
So it says 10:30 a.m. And when it beeps like that, it means that the phone is actually ready to receive, commands. It's on the main screen, basically. So when it reads out the time, it's on the main section. So if we press down arrow,
Call 1 of 7.
that opens up the main menu. So you've got 7 options here. So I'm going to arrow through them. I'm not going to describe each one, but just to give you an idea, I'm going to arrow through them all, and then we'll go into show you, for example, the call menu.
Messages 2 of 7. Contacts 3 of 7. Applications 4 of 7. Settings 5 of 7. Manual 6 of 7. Turn off the phone 7 of 7.
So as you noticed, there was a beep at the end there when it said turn off the phone. So it's actually quite useful to have that there because it tells you it's got to the end of the menu. So if I press down arrow to go into call, for example,
Call 1 of 7.
and press confirm on the left here, which is the green button.
Dial contact 1 of 5.
So in the call menu, again, they've kept this very simple menu structure, and this is present across the whole phone. So you've got very obvious options. Dial contact will dial somebody from your phone book.
Dial number 2 of 5.
Dial number, you can dial a number directly.
Call history 3 of 5.
Call history, again, self-explanatory. It tells you who's rung you.
Call statistics 4 of 5.
Statistics will tell you the call time and things like that.
Blocked numbers 5 of 5.
Blocked numbers. Yeah, you can block people on this handset, which is quite useful for all these double glazing calls that are going around now and these scammers that try and get you to pay more for postage. So let's press back.
Call 1 of 7.
We'll briefly show the message and contacts menus, and then we'll demonstrate one of the apps.
Messages 2 of 7.
So in the messaging menu, we have...
Write SMS to contact 1 of 6.
So again, you've got the similar structure. So write SMS to a contact.
Write SMS to number 2 of 6.
Write a message to a number by typing it in directly.
Write SMS to multiple recipients 3 of 6.
Again, self-explanatory, but you can text more than one person.
Conversations 4 of 6.
Conversations is a list of all the messages that have been incoming and outgoing on the phone.
Drafts 5 of 6.
Drafts are messages that you've previously saved.
Messaging settings 6 of 6.
And message settings is just message settings to do with SMS settings. So let's press back.
Messages 2 of 7.
Let's go down to contacts.
Contacts. Contacts list 1 of 6.
Contacts list, again, that would be a list of all the contacts that I've saved in your phone.
Add new contact 2 of 6.
Add new contact, again, that brings up a very simple screen with about 9 boxes on it where you can actually fill in the first name, the last name, the mobile phone number, etc.
Single button dialing 3 of 6.
That's where you can manage your speed dials.
Import contacts from file 4 of 6.
Import contacts from file. Again, these are more advanced options. You can import your contacts from another phone.
Backup contacts to file 5
Backup
of 6.
contacts to a file. That again is a very useful option to back the contacts up in your phone book up to a memory card.
Contact settings 6 of 6.
Okay, and contact settings is where the settings in relation to contacts are. So you can sort contact by first name, last name, etc. Let's go back.
Contacts 3 of 7.
And let's see if we can demonstrate one of the apps to you. So let's go into the internet radio app and see whether we can play a radio station. So let's go down to applications.
Applications 4 of 7.
And what they've done in the applications menu is they've actually organized the apps into various categories. So I'll scroll through the menu first, and then we'll go into the category for the radio app.
Internet browser 1 of 7.
That's the first option. So that'll take you onto the web.
Tools 2 of 7.
Tools, that contains all your daily living aids, for example, like your calculator, your alarm clock, your stopwatch, a voice recorder, all that kind of stuff.
Communication 3 of 7.
Communication contains tools, for example, to do with communicating like WhatsApp, email, and the Telegram Messenger.
Media 4 of 7.
Media, that contains the FM radio, internet radio, book reader, etc.
Books 5 of 7.
Okay, so they've got a separate category for books now. That's quite useful. So that contains your text reader and Daisy book player.
Vision aids 6 of 7.
Vision aids, that contains things like Google Lookout, the color detector, things that where you need visual assistance.
App catalog 7 of 7.
And the last option in the menu is the app catalog, and this is where BlindShell will actually list all the apps that they have posted. Excuse me, so you can download them. And you can actually download and install the apps that you need and remove the ones that you don't need. So it's quite a useful function. So let's go into media.
Vision books, media 4 of 7.
Let's press OK.
Camera 1 of 8.
So in here we've got an option for various options for camera and
FM radio 2 of 8. Images 3 of 8. Internet radio 4 of 8.
Internet radio, and I'll go through the rest of the options just for the curious among you, but we'll go to internet radio in a second.
Music player. Podcast player. 6 of 8.
Podcasts. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Sorry. They actually support podcasts now. So you can actually subscribe to podcasts from around the world. The directory is quite comprehensive, I believe, and it's a useful replacement for things like other DAISY players that you might have, like the Trek or the Stream, if you don't want to necessarily carry those with you.
VoxyWeb. 7 of 8.
VoxyWeb. I don't know what that is. I think it's an audio-based web browser of some kind.
YouTube. 8 of 8.
And YouTube is obviously it's a video app for those of you who don't know, and it can be used in both audio mode and video mode. What audio mode does is it actually doesn't play back the video, so it's quite a unique function. Actually, we've not seen that before on iPhones and things like that. So if you just want to listen to the audio, you can actually save battery life. So let's go into internet radio and have a look at that quickly.
Vox podcast, music player, internet radio, 4 of 8.
And something else worth mentioning is that if there's, let's say for example, there's 10 options in the menu, you can actually just press the first number of the option. So for example, if it says FM, internet radio 4 of 8, you can actually just press number 4 and it will go straight down to that option. If you press number 8, for example, it would go down to
YouTube, 8 of 8.
So let's press number 4.
Internet radio, 4 of 8.
Press OK.
Resume playback, 1 of 6.
So resumes playback on the last station that you had playing, and I'll show these options and then we'll try playing one.
Popular stations, 2 of 6.
Popular stations, that lists all the stations people are listening to at the moment.
Search, 3 of 6.
Search, self-explanatory, so you can find a specific station.
Favorites, 4 of 6.
Favorites, you can actually create your own list of favorites and the station will be listed in that list.
Categories, 5 of 6.
You can browse by category, like, the usual categories, for example, by country or by rock and roll or blues or whatever the music style is that you want to listen to.
Country, 6 of 6.
And they've actually moved the country option to the bottom of this menu, actually. So yeah, so you can browse by country and narrow the stations down just using the country filter, which is quite useful, actually. So if we go down to...
Resume country, 6 of 6. Categories, 5 faves. Pop. Resume playback, 1 of 6.
Sorry, 1 second. Resume playback.
Playing, BBC Radio 1 Extra, 1 of 10.
BBC Radio 1 Extra now, hopefully, fingers crossed.
BBC Radio 1 Extra, 1 of 10.
Okay, it was playing a nice, I don't know what it was, rap song of some kind. I'm not really into the modern rap songs. Can't keep up with them. Okay, so that basically concludes the demonstration of the BlindShell. And what we're also going to talk about a bit about now is the accessories that they sell with this phone. So the accessories include NFC tags that you can use to mark objects. So they've actually got an app on the phone where if you have a label on a bottle and you recorded a message against that label, a bit like the pen friend labeler, if any of you use that, you can actually record audio tags and it'll tell you what the item is. You get 3 NFC tags as standard in the box. You also get something called a BlindShell Beeper. Now, a BlindShell Beeper is basically a square tile. It's quite small, and it clips onto your handbag or your keys. So it's got a ring on it, and you can attach it to your handbag or your keys or your wallet or any object. And the phone has an app on it that in the visual aids section where it actually locates the item for you. So the keyring will beep. Now, the beeping isn't very loud. The tone can be a bit quiet for those people who are hard of hearing, but it is quite useful if you want to try and find your keys quickly or your cane or any object. You can even clip it onto your other half if you're going around the supermarket. The possibilities are endless with this thing. And then assuming you can hear it, you can find them. And you get one as standard. The current offer that we have on is you actually get a beeper as standard. The offer is shortly going to expire. I believe it's on for the next couple of weeks, and then it's actually going to expire. Once the current batch of beepers is sold, it's not going to be supplied with the phone anymore. But you can buy them separately. They cost $29.99. The battery life in them is 2 years on average. And the BlindShell can also be supplied with a number of different types of cases. So there's a TPU case, which protects the back and the sides of the phone. And there's also a flip case, which protects the back, sides, and front, which opens like a book. So in terms of pricing, the BlindShell costs less than a new iPhone. So it's £399, and it's extremely good value for money, in our humble opinion, against the competition, because they are adding more apps all the time, and they're very responsive to user feedback. And reasons to buy through us as opposed to other retailers are we actually supply 3 hours of training to you on arrival with this phone. So you can ring us anytime during office hours, and we'll train you on how to use the phone, train you on how to get the most of it. We also offer an extended warranty. So instead of 1 year, you get 2 years with us. We supply a 32 GB memory card as standard, which means that you've got storage for all those podcasts and things that you might want to subscribe to. The phone does not come with a memory card by default. As I said before, the promotion for a limited time is the free beep with each handset that we're selling at $399. And it actually comes with a free beep as standard at the moment until stock runs out. So I think that brings us to the end of the demonstration. We're more than happy to demonstrate any of these products to people individually. So if you want to give us a ring to demonstrate we can demonstrate the products to you on Zoom or over the phone. It's not a problem. So if somebody says, oh, I want to hear what the BlindShell sounds like, or I want to ask you about X, Y, and Z, can it do this, can it do that? We're more than happy to take questions. It's not an issue at all. I'll give our contact details now, shall I, or should we wait till the end after the Q&A?
You can give it out more now.
Okay, that's fine. So let's give out the contact details now. So our telephone number, and I'll say this twice, 0343 289 7501. I'll repeat that again, 0343 289 7501. I think somebody's typing it in real time. Okay, don't worry. We'll say it again at the end if needs be. And the website for those people that want it is www.tairatech.com. That's spelled TAIRATECH.com. www.TAIRATECH.com. And we're actually Taira Technology on social media. So if you search for us on Facebook and Twitter, you can follow us on there. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter on our website. We've just launched it. So it's quite simple to subscribe. You enter your name, email address, and tick the box to confirm consent to receive it. And you get exclusive offers from us. So each month we run a promotion on one of our products, and we provide discounts on a monthly basis. So I'd like to thank you all very, very much for listening, and we will be happy to take any questions.
Yeah, can I ask about Tim Ward's site advice? You mentioned your monthly package, which sounds quite interesting to me, your monthly support package. How does that, are you able to give the cost out of that, or does it depend on
Yeah, absolutely. We can. So we've got 4 packages. So you get 1 hour of support for £20 a month, 2 hours of support for 40, 3 hours of support for 60, and 4 hours of support for 80. So but the standard rate on a pay-as-you-go basis is £40 per hour.
I mean, a lot of things can be sorted out in 15, 20 minutes, can't they?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely, yes. You don't have to use it in an hour increment. You could say use 10 minutes one day, 30 minutes another day, etc. So you can split it up. You don't have to do it. Because we recognise as well, when you have a training, it's a lot to take in one go. And so, yeah, we're more than happy to split that up on a monthly basis. Not a problem.
No, I just think it's quite a good deal, because in a month, 3 or 4 things can go wrong, but 3 or 4 things can be fitted, can be fixed quite easy.
Yeah, it's just there as an insurance, really, for people if they need us. And the other thing as well is it's not just for you as an individual. You could also have somebody like a carer or somebody else who needs that support. Say, for example, you need their mobile phone to work when you're out and about with them. We could also help with that, and make sure that they're all set up for you. So it's any technology that's related to you or people around you, you can tap into that, and we can sort of help you in that way, connect to your computer or help over the phone and give advice. So yeah, that's all there as an insurance, I think, for people.
Just wanted to ask you, because I missed the introduction. I mean, how does the BlindShell compare to the Synapptic phone? Is it a similar
concept? Yeah, so it's a good question because a lot of people are using the Synapptic phone, and the main difference between that people find the differences is that the Synapptic has a touchscreen interface, whereas the BlindShell has a button interface, and so the BlindShell is a lot easier in that respect because people are familiar with things like remote controls or landline mobile phones, and so in that way, when you're physically pressing a button, there's not a chance of accidentally knocking something or things like that. So in that respect, I think people prefer the BlindShell over the Synapptic or the iPhone because you've got a physical interface you can press as opposed to sort of guessing where things are on screen and that kind of thing. But in terms of functions, they're very, very similar. You got text messages, phone calls, a number of different apps, YouTube. So yeah, they're very similar, but the BlindShell's got buttons, whereas the Synapptic doesn't in that respect. So it depends what you prefer, really.
Hi. On the BlindShell, is there any voice input? Because I'm thinking back to the old days with that button where you had to press 3 buttons for C and 2 for E.
Yeah, so basically with the BlindShell, you press and hold the call button, and as long as you're on Wi-Fi and you're connected to the internet, that's the only caveat. So if you've got a data SIM or you're connected to the internet, you press and hold the call button and you can speak into the phone, and that way then you can say things like, for example, text Andrea or call John or open podcasts and things like that. So it's very much an interface that you can use easily. There's a bunch of commands you can follow. You can also type with it as well. So if you want to dictate a text message inside the text message screen, for example, it can translate what you're saying into text as well. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Oh, no, it absolutely does, because going back to the old days, as I say, of the 3 beeps for C and 2 for E, we're kind of going back in time, wouldn't it? So that's great. Thank you.
No worries.
Future Vision and Live Well. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. Future Vision events take place on the 4th Thursday of each month at 10 AM. Live Well sessions concentrate on making the most of life with sight loss. These sessions take place on the 2nd Thursday of each month at 10 AM. To attend the next session or to suggest future topics, please contact your local sight society, who will be able to provide you with the Zoom link.